Hey there, welcome to Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. I want to talk about an update on my backyard micro orchard. I want to show you my fruit trees and I want to take care of them today. Let's go. Well, if you've followed my channel for the last 5 or so years, you know that I've been doing what's called backyard orchard culture. And that is where you take your fruit trees in a small space, you keep them small, and you can grow all kinds of different fruit trees. Behind me, I've got 3 stone fruit trees, 5 apple trees. I've got these potted trees. This one's a little worse for wear, but it's coming around, putting on some blossoms. Yeah, I want to show you my trees, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to take care of them using this IV Organics product that I really believe in, and I think it'll be useful to you as well if you're trying to do organic kinds of gardening. This is great stuff. I'll show you how to use that in a little bit. Let's show you my trees. All right, this first tree right here, this is my apricot tree, and it is the youngest tree that I own. I put this in January the 1st, 2023, so we're going into year 3. You can see it's leaning there. That's because Hurricane Beryl hit us directly last year and pushed this tree over, and I had to right it, stand it back up. Didn't think it would make it. But this is my youngest tree, but it's also the most vigorous grower. As you can see, it's 18 feet tall. That's much too big, but I didn't get to do a summer prune last year. Life, you know. And so this tree shot up, and I'll explain the pruning process. But what I want you to see, this is the first year I've got fruit. I've got little apricots all up and down in this tree, and I'm looking forward to having some fresh apricots in a few months. Yeah, I'm real happy with this tree. Almost a little much for a backyard orchard culture practice. The goal with backyard orchard culture is to keep your trees about the size of this plum tree. This plum tree was also pushed over a little bit, but didn't quite come out of the ground. The variety of that apricot tree is Tropic Gold. This plum tree is a Santa Rosa plum. It is my oldest stone fruit. It has been in this spot since 2021. It's going into year 5 now. Never had any fruit from this tree. I'm going to give it a couple of years more, and then I'll remove it. Now here, this is my peach tree. It's an early grande peach, put in 2022, and I showed you how we cut this down to where those first branches are coming out, and yeah, it's done well. I have peaches. I have 2 left on the tree. There were about 20 of them, but it's naturally dropped some of them. But I found one of these in the front yard, indicating to me that the squirrels are to blame. Look at that beautiful peach. Now for some sad news. This is Lucy the lemon tree, and Lucy is dead. D-E-D, dead. Lucy got frozen back 3 times in the past 5 years, and she always seemed to come back, but this time it got her. So you can see where I had cut back the original Lucy and it grew back, but yeah, Lucy's goner. Lucy is a goner, and that's kind of sad. Let's get on to happier things. Let's look at my apple trees. This is an Anna. It is an early bloomer. With apple trees, you get 3 different kinds of bloomers. You got early bloomers, you have mid-season bloomers, and late bloomers. And you want to catch them. You know, your pollinators need to bloom at the same time. So Anna pollinates with a couple of trees over there that also bloom. I'll show you those in a minute. But look at the fruit. We've got fruit. Nice. Anna is the most vigorous of the apple trees that I know about. I won't be grafting anything onto this tree. It will overtake everything. This is in, let's see, what year are we in? We're going into year 5 with my apple trees. They all started out as bench grafts, just tiny little sticks on a rootstock. Here is a later season. This is a shell. I think it's a shell. Or is it Reverend Morgan? This is Reverend Morgan. This apple tree was developed here in the Houston area by a reverend, and it's called Reverend Morgan. I've had no fruit from that. It's a slow grower, just like this Fuji over here, which needs a pruning. This Fuji is a slow grower. They're just now coming out of hibernation because they're later season bloomers. And Fuji is a Japanese variety that is a tip bearer. I don't expect fruit for a couple of years on that one. There's the sweet potatoes in the background. Now, let's get around by the goji berry mess right here. Here is golden Dorset. It is a pollinator of the Anna. And you can see it got pollinated quite well. We have clusters. When they're this young, the thinking is you should probably thin the fruits on these clusters down to 1, 2, or maybe 3 at max. So that's what I've done on this tree. Let's look over here though. This one's got some clusters that probably could be thinned. This is my shell of Alabama. It is also a pollinator of Anna and golden Dorset. But look at that growth. Like I said, I didn't get to do some summer pruning, so there's a lot of weird shoots and branches here that I didn't plan for. And then finally, I've got this King David, which just bloomed, but I'm not sure if it had anything out here to pollinate it. King David is a dark purple apple. I don't expect fruit on this for a while. This was put in as a replacement. I had one die, and King David sounded like a nice apple. So look at all these fruit trees. Phoebe, what are you doing over there, huh? Look at that dog. Big fat chub. Look at all these fruit trees. I've got 1, 2, 3 stone fruits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 apple trees. 6 apple trees. And I used to have a citrus tree over there. I'm real happy though. I couldn't be happier. This is a wonderful way to grow fruit in your backyard. Keep the trees small. I do grow figs in pots. I used to have over 30 varieties of figs. Now I'm down to 3. And one of them's in the front in the yard. It's a Celeste. It's a beautiful tree. And I've got these 2 back here. The freezes, yeah, they take out fig trees. And these are the ones that survive. So I figure I'll keep these. If they can survive a hard freeze like we had, well, I'll keep them. And my citrus tree. Now these were affected by the freeze as well because I had to take them inside. And the freeze lasted quite a while, and these got stressed out by not having sunlight. And part of this tree, this is a blood orange, it died. I've had fruit from this, it's very delicious. But look how small I'm going to keep them because they're in pots and they don't have that much space to forage for nutrients. I have to fertilize these and keep them small. This one dropped all of its leaves, as citrus is prone to do, but you can see it's still very much alive and will be leafing out when it gets comfortable again. I've got a couple of pawpaw trees over here in a pot. Shouldn't be in a pot. I really should plant these in the yard somewhere. These are 2 Collins Select pawpaw trees, and I have another cultivar out front. So one of these days, these will get put in the ground. Just need to find a spot for them. A couple of other citrus trees out here. And there's my other pawpaw tree. That's my oldest pawpaw tree. I don't know. They need to go in the ground. You're not supposed to grow those in a pot because they have a tap root. But these have survived until I find a place to put them. Speaking of fig trees, look here on my front porch. Bunch of cuttings. Yeah, I'm going to have 4 varieties, 8 trees. If they're all successful, they look like they're going to at least have a high success rate. And I started these like 3 weeks ago. Speaking of fig trees, this is my Celeste. It was put in, wow, years and years ago, and I've kept it that small. That middle part needs to come out, but other than that, this is the ideal pruned fig tree. And you can see it's going to be loaded with figs. Yeah, this is a very delicious fig tree. And it smells so good. I love this tree. I worked real hard to get a good shape on that. Whew. Had to come inside. It's a little warm out there, and I have not quite adjusted to the heat yet. Even though we live here, it gets super hot here, we still have to adjust to it, and it's pretty hot. Well, there's my fruit tree. Let me talk about backyard orchard culture. I have a whole playlist on my channel going back 5 years showing you how to prune trees for backyard orchard culture, and I want to explain. Springtime pruning is when you prune your trees for growth. You prune them for shaping. You prune them for encouraging growth where you want it to grow. I've got a video on how we worked those apple trees. Once we had a whip the first year, they grew real tall. Then we needed to select where we wanted branches to come out. And I wanted those apple trees to be grown in a modified central leader where they have a main central trunk and then they branch out from different locations, not all the same place, along that trunk. And we wanted 4 main branches. And the way we pruned for that was we did notching. We found a node, a little bud along the trunk that we thought, hey, that's a good place for a branch. And we put a notch in the bark above that node to trick the tree into at least that little part of the tree, that xylem and phloem that goes up through the cambium. That's the resources the tree needs. And when you notch it, the tree in that spot thinks that that's the last bud on the tree. Apical dominance, that's where all the growth hormones will go. That's where all the nutrients and effort will go. And sure enough, we were able to make our apple trees branch where we wanted them to branch. Now, some of the apple trees have branched in other places just because apples are prone to do that. And I let them go this past summer. I didn't do any summer pruning, like I said. But summer pruning is when you're pruning to stunt growth, pruning to limit height, pruning to stop growth and have the tree slow down. And summer pruning is done around the summer solstice. The longest day of the summer, that's your key. Get out there and prune your trees if you're trying to keep them small. I've got to take that big apricot tree down by 1/3 because that's where I want it to be. Some of that fruit out there I can't reach. I like the size of my peach tree. It's looking good. It's just a little got some little craziness going out of control. My stone fruit trees are pruned for an open center, like a goblet shape. So you want to clear out branches that shadow fruit. You want to clear out branches that are crossing over one another. I've got a couple of branches on my apricot tree that are literally crossed and rubbing each other. That's not healthy. That's a vector for disease and insects to get in when that bark starts to rub off. So yeah, keeping the tree small, it's you buy your tree at the nursery, you bring it home, you put it in the ground, or you get a bare root tree, you put it in the ground, then generally you're going to chop it off at knee level if it's a stone fruit tree. And that's drastic. I've done that so many times and people are gasping, but get the book, Grow a Little Fruit Tree by Ann Ralph, and read that book and it'll show you how to keep these trees small. Also go over and look at Tom Spellman's videos on the Dave Wilson Nursery YouTube channel. He's the pioneer in backyard orchard culture and shows you how you can grow, 2 different trees in the same hole. Yeah, he does a lot of good work in this arena. I really enjoy backyard orchard culture. I have a playlist down there. Go take a look at it if you're interested. Man, I can't speak today, can I? Go take a look if you're interested. All right, let's get back out there and take care of these trees. I've got some things to do, some application of IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. This is Garden Gold right here. IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard is a paint-like substance, and I want to tell you the difference between this and the latex paint that your grandfather used to use. When your trees are growing, it's become practice to paint the trunks and protect them from sun scald by literally putting latex paint on them. I saw this when I was a kid at country clubs and places where they had expensive trees, but I never understood why. Well, if you're growing organically, the latex paint immediately discounts you from being, if you're commercial, you can't claim to be organic if you use latex paint. This does more than protect against sun scald. It does protect against sunburn, but also windburn, insects, and rodents. And I need that rodent protection right now from that squirrels. I'm going to try to discourage them from climbing up that peach tree. But what's this made of? It is made of diatomaceous earth, water, and 7 essential oils that help protect the tree and defend it from insect attack and from rodent attack. And in the brochure that you'll get if you order one of these cans, this brochure right here, it will tell you all the things that those oils defend the tree from. They give you a rundown of exactly what those things repel. The rodent repellent is the castor oil, the spearmint oil, the peppermint oil, the rosemary oil. Insect repellent is the garlic oil, peppermint oil, and diatomaceous earth. And it's all in there. So this stuff is a wonderful paint-on. I don't like to call it paint. It's a guard. It's a paint-on substance that helps your tree survive. And we're about to get into summer. We're going to get a lot of sunlight, and I want those exposed trunks to be protected. So let me show you how to open this up. You're going to find a bag of powder in here, if I can get it open. You're going to find a bag of powder and a vial of essential oils. I like the smell of this stuff too. It comes in several colors. I'm just doing white today. It comes in grayish, brown. I think it comes in a couple other colors as well. Ooh, I can already smell that oil down in there. Now this is a mix-it-yourself product. I don't guess that's white. That might be grayish. It doesn't say so. Oh, it is grayish. Grayish is kind of like a gray beige, obviously. But this stuff's easy to mix up. Now you can mix it up in different consistencies. You can have it as a paste, you can have it as a paint-on substance, or you can mix it up really thin and make a foliar spray out of it. But you know, I'm going to take this in the house right now. It's windy out here. I don't want all this diatomaceous earth flying around. It's not good to breathe this stuff in, and my dog's right behind me. So I'll put this in, and then I'll come back out. Okay, I've emptied the diatomaceous earth into the can. I'm going to add enough water to make a paint. Start with less than what you think you'll need, and I'm going to add in the vial of oils. That smells so good. Now, getting this mixed up is sometimes a little difficult. I got my Homemaker 5000 right here. It also is a Stir Stick 5000. And I'm just going to start stirring to try to get this diatomaceous earth incorporated into that water. And the trick that I've found with this kind of stuff, is that going to be enough water? The trick that I've discovered is to put the lid on and shake it up. I'm going to need a little bit more water. That's what we're going to do. Put the lid on, give it a shake. It's still a little dusty, I think. Oh, there we go. Perfectly mixed. So here's what we have. Perfectly mixed. About the consistency I like. I like it a little thicker, and I'll show you why. Let's go paint a trunk. I'm going to begin on this peach tree. And you can see sometimes I get a little close with the weed whacker. That's not good business. I want to seal that up real good, because that's a vector to allow bugs to get in. And I'm just going to coat this trunk with this 3-in-1 plant guard on both sides. This is going to protect it from sun. You can see it's pretty exposed down here. And I'll go all around and just paint this tree. And if you're into aesthetics, this grage matches some of my trees quite nicely. I got to go get the other side too, because, well, the sun comes from over there in the evenings, so I got to get that other side. And I'm only going to do mostly these exposed trunks, but you could do the whole thing. You can even overcoat buds that are about to blossom. It'll just open up just fine. This is a wonderful stuff, and maybe this will help discourage the squirrels from climbing up this tree. I doubt it. They're squirrels. They'll certainly repel other kind of rodents, though. This plant guard will last about a year, and as the tree grows, it will slough off some of this. But unlike latex paint, as the tree grows, latex paint chips fall down and get in your soil, and that's not good. Nobody wants that. But yeah, an annual application of this stuff is good practice. If you'd like to purchase this product, or any of Ivy Organics' line of excellent products, go to their website, ivyorganics.com, load up your cart with whatever you want to buy, and then check out using Gumbo 10. That's my affiliate code. You'll be supporting my channel, and you'll be getting 10% off everything in your cart. And believe me, I don't just stump for anybody that wants to support my channel. I only believe, or I only will represent products that I truly believe in. And this plant guard here This is definitely one of them. Let's see, this is a little exposed on this side. My dad had a peach tree and it was always getting sunburn. And he'd paint that thing up with latex house paint. And nope, not organic. Well, there we go. That's good enough for this one. Just the areas that I think are most exposed. We'll touch up here. Well, there you have it. It's easy to grow fruit trees in a small space, to keep them small, using the backyard orchard culture method. This is a 5-year update. I've been growing fruit successfully now for all these 5 years, and it's easy. Check out my playlist and learn how. Get Ann Ralph's book, Grow a Little Fruit Tree, and get you some IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard. Use my code GUMBO10 and you get 10% off. Thanks for joining me on Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. Happy gardening to you. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.